Okay, what's up, everyone? We're back with episode 2 of the OK Arm Wrestling podcast. We have Curtis again this week, but we're also joined by Tommy Smith. He's another guy from out here in Western Oklahoma. So we'll kind of do some intro stuff with him, like we did with Curtis last week, and then just kind of see where that takes us. So, what's up, Tommy? How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Worked a little bit, but now I'm ready to relax a little bit and do a little training.
Yeah, yeah. How is that? How's that going for you? I know you had to kind of take a little bit of time off.
Yeah, I haven't really pulled it on the table in what? Shoot, how long has it been, Curtis? Like 6 months? Has it been that long now? It's been a
Maybe longer
while.
than that, boy.
Maybe, dude. Past year, it's just been rough. A lot of lower back and hip stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been rough. But it's starting to feel pretty good again, so
Well,
starting to ease my
good.
way back.
Yeah, just
Give Curtis
gotta.
the work.
Yeah, good. He's getting
You
too
ain't gonna do
cocky.
nothing right. You ain't gonna do
He's,
nothing right,
I
boy.
my right's actually not bad right now. I did some little bit of stuff and actually feels pretty good.
ooh, Curtis, you
I
in
sque I
trouble.
squeezed a tennis ball and I'm gonna get so strong.
Yeah, keep talking that mess, Curtis. He's gonna come back and whop you.
Hey, I will give
Okay,
it to him. He
okay.
left.
Now is not the time for trash talking. We're all friends here. Gotta ask Tommy some questions, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically we're just gonna start out with the basics. Kind of got a few here. So just let us know where you're from, kind of who you practice with, um, how you got into arm wrestling in the first place, and then kind of what previous arm wrestling, like what your background in sports or strength or whatever is. But just kind of go from there.
Let me gather my thoughts. So first of all, my name is Tommy Smith from Oak City, Oklahoma, just like these other two cats in here. I got into arm wrestling when I moved to Yukon about what was that, like 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago. In fact, tomorrow would be 3 years from when I went to my first practice. It was at Robert's house, a big practice. I pulled for like 4 hours. Man, I was so sore. I couldn't bench for like 3 weeks, dude. 135 felt horrible. My elbows were just always inflamed, but it was a lot of fun, man. I
Hmm.
had known
Hmm.
about it for a while because I've seen you post stuff on from tournaments on Instagram and
Yep.
stuff like that, so I knew about it. And I got really into like watching YouTube stuff. Really when Devin went to Dubai and trained with Larry, or he pulled with Larry in
Yeah.
college. I mean, that kind of like got me more and more interested because I was following him for a while. But as far as like background goes into like strength sports and stuff like that, was it like 6 years ago? I believe I did strongman. I got into strongman because I was watching like Brian Shaw,
Yep.
Robert Oberst. I bought like a shirt. I named my email is the same, strong and pretty.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I got really into doing strongman stuff, and I really enjoyed doing that. But it got to a point where my I was always hurting. My knees were always bad. My lower back always hurt. And then I got into arm wrestling, and it
Felt
seemed
that.
to be a little more not as impactful, maybe on my arms and elbows, but uh, it seemed like I could be a little more competitive in that.
Yeah.
Strongman
Yeah.
just seemed really hard for me to stick with and be competitive all the time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
arm wrestling seemed to give me that competitive itch, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
I can
What do you
agree
think
with
about
that. I
that?
did that one strongman comp 2 years ago, and I'll still admit it's
Yeah.
the funnest competition
Oh,
I've
it's
ever
fun.
done. Like
Yeah.
arm wrestling, strongman, the absolute funnest. But like you said, it takes such a toll. It's hard
Yeah.
to really sustain your body
It was
through
hard.
it.
I mean, I was strong like when I was lifting a lot. I mean, but like compared
Hmm.
to like my weight class in strongman, I was way off from being like super competitive.
Hmm.
I don't know. So the heaviest I ever deadlifted was 585, and that
It's
was
impressive.
but I my so one time like during the competition we had to do 455 for reps.
Hmm.
I did it for 12 reps, so that would
Good
shoot my
grief.
max like 600 something, but I never got to test that out because I hurt myself the first time.
Right.
Slipped a disc and I couldn't walk for like 3 days. I don't know. Ever since then, I haven't really got to test over that, so arm wrestling's been a little. little mostly safer. I haven't hurt myself as much.
Yeah. No, just the elbows and
Yeah.
shoulders sometimes.
I
But
mostly pull outside, so I don't have to worry about elbows too much unless somebody gets me on like a flat press if they
yeah,
jam me inside. And but other than that, I mean, it hasn't really bothered me too much.
good.
Uh, I competed, so exactly 3 years ago was my first practice at Roberts. 2 weeks after that, Levi Prince talked me into doing a tournament in OKC in April.
Okay. Was that the
Went up
first
there,
Brothers in Arms?
the first Brothers in Arms Championship. I did amateurs and super heavies. I think I weighed about 280 at the time. I went 1-2 right, 0-2 left, because apparently a lot of people did AMs because they were scared of the pros. Because you had Bryce
Happens.
Talton, you had Levi Prince, you had a guy named Tank from California.
Okay.
He was there. Jeremy, I'm gonna butcher his last
T-
name, Petruccio or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry if I butcher that. I love you, dude. You're a great guy. And then some other guys from Kansas showed up too. And
hmm
so apparently a lot of people went down to amateurs. I did
Yeah,
get one win, and it was against Arthur Acuna. That was my
yeah,
first win.
yeah. He was relatively new around
Yep,
that
he was
time
new
as
as well.
well.
They started just a little bit before me, I think, a month
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, something around
I
that
just
time.
yeah. I got beat by Paul though right after he knocked me out of the tournament. My first loss
Okay.
was against shoot, he's a guy from Oklahoma. He had just started too, but he's just absurdly strong. Super big, what is his name? Oh my god. He's got super big hands, man. I went to grip up with him and his hand wrapped all the way around mine and he just went like this. He just went like that to me. I couldn't do nothing. Uh
I can't think of who it might be.
Man, I forgot his name all of a sudden. I drew a blank. He hasn't competed in a while, but he kind of. I think he's around the Tulsa area, in between Tulsa and them. He's kind of close to David Evers and them. I think he trains with them
Okay.
sometimes. He's a super big guy, like massive. Like
Yeah.
I would guess every bit of like almost 400 pounds, or like high 300s. Uh,
Okay.
he's like competitive in like top three in Oklahoma for super heavy. So he's up there with Matt and all them.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't really compete much as far as I know. I know he just works. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Hopefully he sticks with it. Got a little off track. And then
No,
I've
you're
done
good.
another Oklahoma tournament a little bit after that. It was in shoot. Actually, no, I don't think I ever did the Chickasha one. Maybe it was just I did the one later on that year.
Did you
I
do the
think
one in Hinton that summer?
Hinton. That was it. Yeah,
Okay.
Hinton. Yeah. That was my second tournament. And then I just kind of stopped and just kept training. And then I started to become pretty good right-handed first.
hmm
My left-handed sucked. It was really bad. And then I did a big tournament. Me, John, Jonathan, and Levi. Adrian didn't go. I don't think he was in yet. He was just before he started. And Sean Halley, he went with us
Oh,
to
okay.
Wichita, Kansas, to a big tournament. It was shoot, uh, something. Oh my god, I just drawn a blank. But it was a big tournament in Kansas City. I went 1-2 left-handed and 0-2 right-handed. No, 1-2 right-handed. No, I got a win in both. I didn't do pros yet. I was still doing AMs because I feel like I'm getting more experience.
Right.
But yeah, sorry if I'm just rambling. If you need to
No,
stop me
keep
at any
going,
time.
man. Was that also the summer that you went with me and Scott over to Tulsa for that four-way with Chance
Yep,
and all
yep,
them?
yep.
Okay.
I went to that one too. I
Yeah,
guess
that
that
was
was
a
my
cool
second
little
tournament
event.
or my third tournament. And then my second year I wanted to do a tournament every single month. I almost
Yeah.
made it. I got nine. I got nine.
Oh, that's impressive to be able to
Yeah.
hold up
And
and
towards the
do
end of
that
that, I
many.
started to do both pro and AMs,
Yeah.
especially in left. My
Yeah.
right fell off. I stopped doing my second year. I stopped doing right-handed most of the year because during training I went to stop. I was just practicing like with my fingertips. Somebody who has a really good top roll was Mitch. I let him top roll me, and I tried to stop him with my fingers. And I got right here, like almost to the losing side, and I was just holding him with my fingers. Something popped, and it like shot all the way down my freaking
Uh,
elbow. I don't know if it was just the pronator or what, nervy pin feelings all in my
Yeah.
hand. Ever
Yeah.
since then, I haven't been able to top roll the same. Not my right
Really.
sucked ever since then. So then I just only did left-handed throughout most of my second year.
Yeah. Well, your
Um,
left is strong
it got
AF.
really strong after that because I used it and I got really good at posting top rolling.
Hmm.
I don't really do much inside. I need to. I don't. But yeah,
I'm your guy there.
yep. Done a lot of tournaments in Texas. I really like the Texas ones. It's super competitive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of strong dudes there.
Okay, well
And
we'll kind of oh my bad. Go ahead. Keep going.
no, you're good. No, go ahead.
Okay, so
I'll just ramble on.
no, it's all good, man. I'll just I mean kind of keep going off of just your coming into it. Are there um any pullers, like particular pullers that you tried to model your own style after?
Um, I've kind of done my own thing, but there's a lot of people like to watch and take things from all
Hmm.
of them. I
Yeah.
love Ron Bath. I wouldn't say I really imitate him at all, but I love watching Ron Bath. I
Yeah.
like his tenacity, and I've watched a lot of his matches. So even though I've been outside, I get into a spot where I'm not really outside, but I'm trying to just strength go to it, because I don't know, there's something fun about winning with strength. But
Right. Right.
I would say Chance Shaw. I watched him a lot, and I have a like that posting top roll, and I do a low hand sometimes. But I like to watch him a lot because he's more so like he has strength, but he's more so technique
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
opposed to strength. And I want to emulate that more because that way I don't have to worry about wasting too much energy fighting where, I'm not strong because I don't have big arms or big hands. So I got to rely more on going outside and have people hold on to me and not me hold on to
Hmm.
them.
Yeah.
So I would like
Yeah.
to emulate more of a Chance Shaw deal. I like watching Devin, but I wouldn't really emulate him.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
one of a kind, I think, for me. But
That was kind of another, I guess the next part of the question is just who do you like watching the most? Like who's the most entertaining, fun puller for you to watch?
yeah. I say again, Ron Bath is one of my favorites. I love
Mm,
watching his matches, man. To be that old and to still be competitive, even though he's coming back from injuries and stuff, but
hmm.
to still be that competitive on like a world stage is wild. And then John
Yeah.
Brzenk as well.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
he's
The
lost, he's
goat.
still very competitive with all these young guys
Oh yeah.
blasting so much gear.
Yeah.
And then I would say I we talked you talked about RVJ at your last one. I like watching
I
RVJ
love
too, man.
RVJ, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great to watch. I like to watch Matt Mass too. I was gonna
Oh
say I
yeah.
like his style kind
Yeah.
of. I like to emulate that a little bit too because he's very hand controlly, and
Hmm.
I like to try to control hands too, especially
Hmm.
with my left hand.
Those
Yeah.
crooked fingers of his,
Yep. The
man.
crooked fingers. That's wild. Is
Yeah.
really wild to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The
No,
wild
those are
fingers.
all I like watching those guys as well. And just the miles that John and Ron both have on their bodies and are still competitive. They're holding up. It's
Todd too.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Todd, he's another one of my favorite. It's
I
always
say I love watching him, but I am not pulling like that.
yeah, not many do if you value your own
uh,
safety.
Yeah. Some of his training stuff is really helpful though. Like he can translate, he's super smart. Like
Oh
he
yeah.
trains
Yeah.
super smart, yeah.
Yeah.
For how he pulls, but
No, he breaks everything down on such a technical level and his training is like to a T. And I think that's the reason why he's had the longevity is he's just so smart about it, the way he goes
mm-hmm.
about training.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so we'll go to the next kind of question and then we'll bring Curtis in after this.
What is
So what are your kind of personal goals in the sport? Like, I guess the kind of way I framed this question to Curtis is this, it's going to be a little bit different for you because you've been hurt for a while.
mm,
So you can just really skip kind of where you see yourself now in the state because you've been kind of out of the game for a little bit.
yeah.
So we'll just give you two parts. Where do you want to be in a year? And then what's your like long-term goals with the sport within the state?
Yep. Within a year, I would like to be knocking on the door of the top three left-handed in Oklahoma. It's going to be a tall task because Matt, Bryce, Adrian, I mean, Levi's good left-handed too, but it's not really his main hand. There's some other upcoming too in Tulsa, but I really want to gun for top three in Oklahoma left-handed. I'm trying to get my right back up too. I'm figuring out ways to pull with it, so I'd
Yeah.
like to crack top 10 right-handed in the state, right-handed, but I got a ways to go right now. Just getting
Right,
back
right,
into
right.
it.
Yeah.
Um, Long term, I've always wanted to be competitive because before I hurt myself, dude, I was training my butt off.
Oh
I
yeah.
was
Oh yeah.
super confident that I could be top five, like left-handed, like about a year ago. I was pretty confident I could do it. And then hurt myself. I got to go to big practices and see how I compared like Adrian. I actually,
Mhm.
before I hurt myself, dude, I was actually able to do stuff with Adrian that I normally couldn't. Right-handed now it still sucks, but I'm trying to get my right hand up a lot, especially with Curtis being main hand right-handed. We live close by, so that kind
Mhm.
of helps get that back in the groove. But within a year of my right hand, like I said, I would like to crack top five just to have a goal. That's going to be hard, or top 10, I guess, would be more realistic. Uh,
After you beat me.
yep. I used to be, but
Just force
I'm just
Curtis
kidding.
inside. He don't want
I've
that
been
smoke.
muted for like 10 minutes and I just jump
uh,
in.
hey, hey, go back muted. Get out of here. The
Yeah,
men are
no one
talking.
wants you around, Curtis.
Yeah, long term, right-handed. I'd like to be competitive just at a national level, see where it goes. You know,
Hmm.
that'd be cool.
I mean, we're
Travel.
all still, I mean, relatively speaking, like super young in the game, so we got
Yep.
a
I'm
long
31, by the
ways.
way. I forgot to mention that I'm 31.
Okay. When you turn
January,
32? Oh, you just
January
turned
next Jan.
31 then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. So I got uh maybe a year or maybe half a year on you. I turned 32 in July.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, we're all still young in the game, so we got lots of room for growth, all of us do.
Yep.
So there's nothing wrong with those big aspirations like that. But no, you're left. The pace you were on left-handed, you absolutely were going to be knocking on that top five door the way you were going.
Yeah. No, I like right before like all this started happening, dude. I was doing things I'd never been able to do because I was training. I followed the trading program from Levi out of Louisiana for a little bit. It was going good, and I was doing my own thing. I was doing gym time and table time and doing arm wrestling specific training. Maybe that's why I hurt myself. I don't know. Maybe that was too much. I didn't rest enough. I don't know.
Who knows,
Uh,
man?
because I was doing that while going to hard in practice, probably harder than I should have. But I was going twice a week, like once with Curtis, and then once at a big one in the city. Yeah, pulling with Keegan, Adrian as much as I could. It made it a lot harder when I came to Oak City, but when I was in Yukon, I was definitely I was doing twice a week.
Yeah,
Yeah, one
yeah,
was like an easy session, the other one was like a hard like practice, like ready to go or
yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
I think that's kind of how it should be. If you do two a week, you need one that's more of that kind of harder kind of conditioning almost
I'd say I
session.
felt super more like way more conditioned when I did
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then the one later in the week can just be technique, just kind of going through the motions more so, not really putting much pressure on anything.
yeah,
We need to get more going here out west. I know we can kind of
yeah.
speak on that, all three of us.
Once,
Um, just what are, I guess, the biggest difficulties y'all have faced, just us being so far west away from people, like
mm,
as far as training goes?
yeah, it's hard because there's just a few of us here, but I mean we can make a lot happen with that. But it's hard because like Curtis just last weekend he went 3 hours one way to one
Yeah,
practice. Like
yeah,
I mean that's we're just gonna have to dedicate that. It's hard because I know he has a kid, he's married. It's hard to make time for that, but you know, I hope we get going soon because we got a lot of people around that could be really strong and they're relatively new. One in
yeah,
Weatherford just popped up, Reggie. Apparently he's really strong. I haven't pulled him. I used to do
yep.
strongman stuff with him
He's
though.
stacked.
He's really strong. We pulled a guy named Justin that
Yep.
lives in Altus. He's really strong. He used to compete back like 9 years ago, I think,
Hmm.
probably 10 now because it's been a while since I've seen him. He's really strong. So man, once we get going, we can find must we can be really competitive anywhere.
Man, I'm tired of all you big guys. Find someone my size, please.
Yeah, there's
You
probably
guys,
some farm boys around here that are pretty strong. You know, they got strong hands. But
you keep bringing all these heavies and supers into our group. I can't
and
practice with none of
there's
y'all.
a couple that be your size, and they always talk big, and I invite them, and they just never do. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't
Well, I
know.
guess that's one good way for me to get stronger is just practicing with guys that outweigh me by so much
Yeah, yeah,
in those big frames. Well, we kind of got your intro in there. So
yep,
people kind of get to know you a little bit. All of you out there. Tom is going to be another pretty regular face on this pod with us, along with Curtis. Once we get a couple of these other guys from our group out here going. But Curtis, we'll bring you in now. I got a couple kind of different questions we can just toss around. I'm still cheap. I got the free version of Zoom, so we only got about 20 minutes left before this timer runs out. Um,
Well, I talked a lot, and it
I
took
was
our whole
yapping
30
too
minutes,
much.
so we got time.
We get
well,
time.
you have to stay quiet because you're going to take up the rest of our time.
Professional yapper.
Just
Listen, I
kidding.
was
Just
going to say
kidding.
something a second ago since you're going to talk about my yapping. If you want me to find you someone to pull, I'll go to the middle school and I'll find you
Ooh.
somebody.
No, no, elementary. I can't pull middle school.
Oh man.
Okay, so do you guys want a spicy question or just a good conversational question?
Si- I'm feeling spicy, you know?
Are you feeling spicy, Curtis?
I
What
guess.
about
I
you?
don't
I'm
know. I
feeling
don't know.
spicy.
Spicy.
Okay, okay. Well, it's not really too spicy, but it'll spark some conversation. So both of you, well, I guess I'll answer this question too, but who do you guys want a super match with now? And it's not somebody that you necessarily have a vendetta against or anything like that. It's just somebody that you think you're pretty close with that you haven't pulled yet, or just someone that you think would be interesting to pull. Both of you can answer the question.
Tommy, you go first.
Okay. Yeah, right now it's hard for me to say because I'm just now getting back into it. I hadn't pulled it on the table in like 6, 7 months. So yeah, it's gonna be a while before I get into any kind of super match. But I mean, I was getting pretty close to wanting to have a match with Levi Prince. I feel like that would have been a good one.
Lefty.
The yeah, lefty. Oh, no, not right-handed.
Yeah.
Lefty. I feel like it was a good match. He's because I could take his hand just about every time. He'd start going to flat press. He has a lot of side pressure, but I feel like that would have been a good match. So maybe I'm a few months away from that. Hopefully, if I can catch back up.
Late summer, fall, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, I think that'd be a good goal.
What about
I
you?
wanted to match with Adrian for a while, but that's gonna take forever.
Oh yeah, no, he's in that top
Yeah,
three, both hands.
yeah, no, he's
Absolutely.
crazy. He's crazy.
All right, what you got, Yapper? Oh, now he's quiet. Now
Oh,
he's
sorry, I
quiet.
was outside in the wind and I was trying to get inside.
If we can find him some
So,
130 pound puller to pull, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
hey, I don't know if he'll ever get on here, but maybe I can beat him now. But I did lose to David Evers about, it's like
Oh
3 months
man,
ago.
David, crazy,
He's fast, really
oh yeah,
fast.
really
yeah,
fast.
yeah.
If I caught him, I could like catch him and go back the other way. But man, you got to catch him first. He's crazy fast.
Yeah,
He's a
that's usually how
guy
it
But
that,
goes.
if he's usually a 154 guy, but he's another guy I would add to the list if he pulled 176, because I think he still could be competitive there. That I
Okay,
don't know if I could really handle right now. He'd definitely be another guy I'd
that's
add
the
to
thing.
that
Like he
list.
would get people off the hit, but like if someone who is stronger than him, if they can catch him, then they could probably get him. But
yeah,
dude, his
I
hit
was
is so
breaking his
good.
wrist back,
His hit is
but
so good.
his hit is insane. But anyway,
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
so I'm
super
not saying I
fast.
want to match with him. I could probably beat him now. I'm
Calling
not
out
saying
the little
probably.
guys, Curtis.
No, I'm gonna say probably because he did beat me once. So
Well,
I don't want to
he's
say
just
too
like the
much.
number one guy for 154. Well, there's some Tulsa guys probably too, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
so I don't know if I could beat him because I don't think I'm quite there yet. I'm getting closer, but I would really like to have eventually a match with Stefan. Sorry, it's pronounced Stefan.
oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, because I it's gonna be probably
Killer.
another few months to a year, but my hand is getting real close to
You got
being
to
able
remember
to
though, he's
compete.
new, so he's gonna continue to get stronger as well. But yeah,
Yeah,
no. I mean,
but
it's not that unrealistic, I guess.
Well,
I'm really close in the hand department, but his side pressure is pretty bonkers. But
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know. Like on the 242 list, there's so many people that are like really close to me, and then a couple of them that are way better than me. So I don't know. I mean, I pulled Bryson a couple times, and he's I don't know. He's way too humble. He's really good.
he's a
He
monster,
can
man.
he can snap my wrist back
dude.
because he has like the same as me, but he has more cup than me. So he snaps my hand back in the cup department, but I can keep my pronation to like kind of like slow him down, but he still gets me.
Yeah, dude, he impressed me, dude. Like for being like what 198 or is he a 242? Because I swear he's
No,
like
he's
198.
242. No,
Is he?
right now he's like 260 right now, but he
Wait,
competes
who
in
is this again?
242. Bryson.
Oh, Bryson. I thought you were talking
No,
about.
no, no,
Okay,
no.
sorry, sorry,
No,
sorry.
on right hand, me and Bryce Johnson, we're really close.
I
Like
think
if
when
he
I
goes for a
started,
flop,
Bryson was 220. I think when I started, he was in 220,
yeah,
and then he moved
he
up.
cut way down a few years ago when he started, but now he's
Yeah.
kind of settled, I think,
No,
around the
Bryson's tough.
242.
Bryson's tough.
Yeah. But Bryce Johnson too, I wouldn't mind having a match with him, and I would probably even just cut to get closer to him
Hmm.
because I can get him if I can keep him out of his flop.
Yeah.
If he
He's
gets in
that
a
guy that's
flop,
practiced
it's
with us once or twice, right?
Yep. He
yeah,
he lived over here, but he moved
real
back to the city.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
he
Yeah.
yeah, kind of lanky.
Dude,
Yeah,
his left hand, like could give a lot of people to work, man. Like his right's
yeah,
good too, but his left is pretty bonkers for
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
how small he is.
He'd
yeah,
be a
he just
198er, right?
Yeah.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
198 when he competes.
Gotcha, gotcha.
But I don't know. I don't know who I'd want like a hypothetical match with. I really do want to get to that point where I can try to compete with Steven. Stefan, damn it. I say it wrong all the time because the way it's spelled. The way it's spelled. But anyway, I would really like to have a match with him eventually, but I just
Yeah,
don't know, if it's going to happen or how it's going to work out.
I
So
think Bryce would be a good match because both of y'all are relatively kind of around the same time in the sport, right?
Bryce or Bryson?
He
No, Bryce has
started
been doing it.
right. He started when I did, like right
Yeah.
about when I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Three,
Maybe
three-ish
I'm.
years, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
where do you move to in the city? You know?
Mm,
Somewhere I want to say around Edmond. I thought.
Okay,
yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's North OKC area. I can't remember where though.
Yeah.
well, y'all could do like a catch weight, just kind of meet in the middle there since he's a little lighter.
Hmm.
But I think that'd
Yeah.
be a good match between you two.
I guess
Yeah.
realistically, I'd like to maybe have a match with like Paul within the next month or two. See, I gotta see how my body reacts to pulling again. But
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
that would be a more realistic goal right away. Levi probably more so later on the year.
yeah,
But
yeah. No, I think this
Yeah.
fall, if you get back into it and stay healthy, left-handed, I think you could try something this fall with Levi, maybe.
I was getting excited, man. I really, I mean, I was feeling good with where I was at.
Well,
So
I
hopefully,
remember at the Brothers in Arms last April in the tournament, you and him were neck and neck left-handed.
yeah. If I could learn to press sometimes, because I can take his hand, but then his arm is just too strong for me to keep going outside.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if I could learn
No,
how to
yeah.
press, because everybody kept yelling at me, and I was like, I don't know how.
It's something that I don't know if I
Yeah,
even learned. It was just something that
I've done
I
it
sprung out
before
in a
in a
tournament one
tournament, but
day.
it's scary
Yeah.
when someone has a stronger arm than me.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's any guys that I like in particular, because there's so many newer guys, I think, that probably are already around my level. I already
it's
kind of
crazy.
mentioned the guys last week that I have no business pulling right now.
Yeah,
Um, but if there's anyone out there um, that thinks they're kind of cracking that top 10 in the 10 to 15 range in the 176ers,
yeah,
um, I'd love to have a crack at them. I don't see myself pulling any of those top probably six or so for the next year. It wouldn't prove anything because I know I can't hang with them right now. But anyone out there looking for a match that maybe in that 10 to 15 range, I
yeah.
think it'd be fun. It's just been a pain in the ass trying to get my wrist healed back up this last year. So um, it would start healing. and then I'd tweak it again, and then I'd be set back another month or two. It's just been a pain in the butt. But I think everything's finally starting to slowly come back together. Um, but we've got 5 minutes left on this, so I'll get one kind of quick question we can end with. What is your guys' preference? Do you prefer tournament pulling or do you enjoy super matches more?
I guess I'll go risk. He's only done a super match, so I guess he hasn't done a tournament yet. I've done a lot of tournaments, and shoot, I don't even think I've done a super match. No, I did
Really?
one super match. I did
One,
one.
okay.
Michael Thompson, a guy out of Texas. They call him the Megalodon. He's
Oh,
a top
okay.
10 guy in Texas, both
Hmm.
hands, which is pretty crazy because there's like 40 people in each class or something like that. That we know of that they have ranked. But yeah, I had a match with him in Houston. Oh my gosh. I guess it's almost been a year and a half. No, because it was November of 22. So I was only like a year and a half in the sport, I guess, when I had that match with him. So it's been a while. Time flies. I would like to do more super matches. I think the format's really cool. You know, you train for a specific person.
Hmm.
There's a lot of variables in tournaments, but I do like tournaments. I just hate sitting around all day at them.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be
That's
nice
my
to just do
biggest
your
gripe
match
with
and
them.
then go, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, I'm in the same boat. I am very much a person that can't just sit there for long
Mm,
periods of time. And that's what happens at a tournament is you'll pull pull maybe two or three in a row, depending on if you win any of them, and then a long ass break. Then you
mm.
body gets all cooled down, your adrenaline wears off, then you got to
I went
hype
to
yourself
Texas
back
State,
up.
dude. I waited, I think, 4 hours to pull one
Mhm.
hand, and then I waited forever to pull the next hand. And by then, dude, I was so tired.
Yeah,
I mean, it
yeah,
took me 8 hours to get there. So.
yeah.
Yeah.
And with
Yeah,
super
my
matches, it's easier. Oh, my bad, Curtis. But with super matches, it's easier to know where you stack up against with
Mm,
people because if you're trying to figure out kind of where you're at with another guy and you pull someone else first, you're trash. They pull someone else first and they breeze through them.
mm.
When you guys meet up, it's not going to be an accurate reflection of where you guys may actually stand.
Yeah.
So I
Because
think
a
with
lot can
super
happen in super
matches,
match. Like they can
oh
figure out
yeah,
your lane, then you got to try something else, or
it's
I don't
more
know.
of a good kind of spar between two people,
Mm,
especially when you have multiple rounds of data rather than just one pull in a tournament. You got up to 5, 6, 7 rounds of data to kind of compare against when you're doing a super match like that.
yeah. I would like to do more super matches, so that'd be the goal going on. But I still get to do tournaments. I like tournaments. I feel like you do get a lot of experience, but
Yeah, yeah.
I'm doing
You
my first tournament the 20th. I heard y'all talk about that. I've only had a super match,
that's
but
a
yeah,
month.
my first tournament. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's exactly a month from now.
yeah.
And
Uh,
typically your class, Curtis, will be one of the bigger classes, so that'll be good for you just to touch a bunch of different
Yeah,
kind of
great
hands.
experience. Like you're really strong. I think this would be a good experience for you to get the ready go. It's underway under with different people,
Yeah,
not just one
yeah,
person.
right.
Yeah, we're
Um,
gonna find out.
We're gonna find out.
I think it's definitely better for the newer
I do.
guys to do the tournaments like that. And
Yep.
then kind of once you're figuring out things, kind of a general kind of where you stand, then you can start doing the super matches.
Mm,
Me personally, I'd much rather do super matches. But this is kind of a really big topic to try to cram in 5 minutes, so I'm sure we'll
yeah.
talk about it again. Is there anything else in this last minute or so that you guys want to throw out there?
Hmm.
Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy. Chance
I
Shaw,
will,
I'm calling you out. I'm calling you
yeah,
out, Brent.
that'll go well for you. That'll go well for you. I know,
I want to see more from him. I haven't seen more from him in a while. I know he's doing more promoter type stuff, but
yeah, he's
it'd be good
got
to
that
see more
one
from
big
him.
event going down in June.
Yeah.
The East versus West kind of, I
I
don't
want to
think
see
is it a
him.
qualifier maybe?
Yep, I think so. They're doing he's doing a different type of qualifier event. Like I saw him working with Engen. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Excited to see that.
On a quick side note, I'm gonna try to have him on here in the next day or two, but Robert
He's a
Kelly
great
is
guy.
throwing that yeah, Chance is a great guy too. sorry, side note, I got off topic, but Robert's having that big statewide practice the 30th, which I believe is not this Saturday, but the next.
Yeah, it's next Saturday.
I'll try to have him on to talk about it here in the next day or two. But yeah, that'll be good, getting a lot of people from all around the state to a practice. But timer's running out, so thank you too for joining me. Thanks everyone for watching. This was episode 2 of the OK Arm Wrestling podcast. You'll be seeing a lot more from me and these two other guys coming up. See you guys.
Top rope.
Peace.